Blanchard settles divorce with Ryan Anderson. Gypsy and Ryan's divorce hasn't been signed off by a judge yet, but TMZ is reporting that they reached a settlement. Ryan's lawyer, Jeffrey Carrier, tells TMZ his client skipped the court appearance to save on those pricey attorney fees. Jeffrey explains
Gypsy-Rose Blanchard's divorce from Ryan Anderson has been anything but conventional. Beneath the surface of what seems like a routine legal process lies a meticulously orchestrated strategy that reveals Gypsy's sharp understanding of media dynamics and her desire to control her narrative. The settlement, hastened and unexpected, signals a shift in Gypsy's focus towards crafting her next chapter with her new partner, Ken, and maintaining her public persona. Ryan Anderson's sudden decision to agree to the divorce after months of resistance has raised questions. His attorney's statement that skipping the court date was a cost-saving measure feels insufficient when contextualized with TMZ's reporting.
To us that Ryan and Gypsy had been living apart for 6 months, so they went ahead with a new cause of action and wrapped up with an uncontested divorce. That sped things up, letting them finalize it before the original January 2025 date. He added that before today, they signed the divorce judgment, and Ryan also...
The timing aligns suspiciously with Ryan's involvement in Gypsy's reality show, suggesting that his change of heart may have been motivated by the promise of exposure and financial gain rather than practicality. This shift paints a picture of strategic compliance rather than genuine resolution. Gypsy's role in this shift cannot be overlooked. She has long demonstrated an understanding of how to leverage public perception, and she seems to have used these skills to influence Ryan. By offering him a platform on her show, a chance to share his side of the story and benefit financially, Gypsy turned an opponent into an ally, ensuring the settlement unfolded on her terms. This tactic not only expedited the divorce, but also ensured that Gypsy retained control of the narrative.
Signed an affidavit confirming the alleged dates. The exes already agreed on no spousal support, but the division of community property is still on the table. It was a quick marriage, but there are some contracts still hanging in the balance. So no spousal support, and they will divide their assets, including contracts for books and shows, and Gypsy agreed to give Ryan their dog pig.
The settlement's rushed nature, bypassing the original January 2025 court date, further underscores Gypsy's intent to maintain control. While the surface-level agreement appears amicable, ongoing disputes over lucrative assets, including book and media deals, reveal deeper complexity. This statement serves as both a public olive branch and a subtle reinforcement of her position as the more composed party in the divorce. Looking back, Gypsy frames her marriage as a lesson learned, citing her connection with Ken as a transformative experience. She reflects on her relationship with Ryan as a compromise she was no longer willing to make, stating, "It was kind of like my first shock of, holy crap, I'm married, but you're just settling." Her words not only distance her from her past, but also positions Gypsy as a master strategist, willing to leverage every angle to achieve her desired outcome. While Ryan's compliance might have seemed voluntary, a closer examination of the underlying dynamics reveals how Gypsy utilized her media influence to tilt the scales in her favor. This isn't merely a story about a divorce. It's a compelling study in manipulation and the art of bending circumstances to one's advantage. TMZ played a crucial role in documenting Gypsy's dramatic divorce saga, offering valuable insights into the legal proceedings and the emotionally charged moments surrounding them. Their initial reports not only detailed the settlement, but also spotlighted the tension that unfolded, both inside and outside the courtroom.
TMZ article, Gypsy also did an exclusive with People magazine where she says, "I did extend the offer to have a civil conversation for closure purposes. I'm currently waiting on a response. He waived his right to attend the court date." She says the two have since worked out their financial disagreement. Looking back, Gypsy admits that after her disagreement with Anderson in March, she realized it wasn't working out for the long haul. Quote, "It was kind of like my first shock of, holy crap, I'm married," end quote. After some time, she knew it wasn't the kind of marriage she wanted. It's kind of like, okay, well, you know that you're settling, that you're...
One of TMZ's groundbreaking articles revealed that Gypsy and Ryan's divorce settlement was nearing its conclusion. However, unresolved issues suggest that their financial and professional entanglements are far from settled. ensuring the drama persists long after the paperwork is finalized. TMZ's follow-up coverage shifted attention to Gypsy's courthouse appearance, where her composed public persona gave way to unfiltered emotion. Exiting the courthouse, Gypsy lashed out at a TMZ journalist, shouting an expletive in a rare public display of anger. This incident laid bare the immense stress she was under, exposing cracks in her otherwise meticulously curated image. Her outburst, seemingly fueled by lingering unresolved matters, media scrutiny, and Ryan's noticeable absence, offered a rare glimpse behind the facade. While the hearing itself was procedural, the emotional weight of the day was undeniable. TMZ described how Gypsy appeared visibly tense, navigating the courthouse while dodging relentless reporters and photographers. Her reaction, though unprofessional, underscored the high-pressure environment she had cultivated by striving to control the narrative so tightly.
Kind of pushing on just to do what everybody else does in life, but you're just settling, she said. I felt a soul connection with Ken where I felt like I could be myself, Blanchard added. I didn't have to pretend to be anything. I didn't have to hide the trauma that I went through. I could open up about that stuff and we're doing really good. People magazine also took the opportunity to bring up their past article where Gypsy's friend and Gypsy basically accused Ryan of DV. This is the incident where Gypsy claims that she and Ryan had a blowout fight and that she locked herself in the bathroom because she was afraid Ryan was going to hit her.
This moment added an unexpected layer of complexity to her story, contrasting Gypsy's polished public appearances with an unguarded reaction to real-life stress. Such a stark difference raises questions about the authenticity of her public persona, suggesting that the controlled image she presents may not align with the reality of her private struggles. Despite the expedited settlement, several critical issues remain unresolved. Chief among them is the division of shared assets, particularly lucrative book and media contracts. These aren't just financial matters, they symbolize control over their shared story, something Gypsy holds dear. Additionally, TMZ highlighted her remarks in a People magazine interview, where she claimed to have reached out to Ryan for a civil discussion about closure. His lack of response and decision to skip the court appearance only intensified tensions, potentially exacerbating her frustrations. These lingering disputes, combined with Ryan's passive approach, keep the door open for future legal and personal clashes. The outburst also invites speculation about Gypsy's emotional state and the toll of constantly managing her image. TMZ's coverage of the incident amplified its impact, juxtaposing Gypsy's polished media persona with this raw moment of anger.
Gypsy-Rose Blanchard finalized divorce from ex Ryan Scott Anderson and says she was settling for him. Wow. I mean, honestly, if Gypsy-Rose comes out and says that
further challenging the authenticity of her public image. While Gypsy has successfully cultivated a persona of strength and survival, this incident unveiled the depth of her struggles in balancing her carefully constructed public image with the underlying frustrations of her reality. The courthouse scene, while legally significant, emotionally showcased a Gypsy far less in control than she wishes the world to believe. Her desperation to finalize the divorce from Ryan Anderson appears inextricably linked to her current relationship with Ken, the partner she seems determined to marry. Gypsy's actions suggest more than a simple desire to move forward. They hint at an urgent need to solidify Ken's commitment and realign her public narrative around a fresh chapter of stability and love. The rapid pace at which she has pushed for closure with Ryan raises questions about her true intentions, whether they stem from genuine affection or a calculated effort to maintain control over how her life is perceived.
she was settling for you. That's a problem. I think that type of comment probably sent me into into an asylum. I'm gonna lie to you. Me, you said what? Are you crazy? Anyway, with that being said though, 8 months after Blanchard filed for divorce in April, the exes have legally parted ways on December 9th of 2024, which is today.
The whispers of an impending marriage, speculation over a potential license date, and the ongoing pressure surrounding her future with Ken highlight the tension Gypsy is under. Rumors suggest that Ken has... However, her urgency also seems tied to her parole nearing its end. Gypsy has repeatedly expressed a desire to move forward and leave her tumultuous past behind, viewing her marriage to Ken as a potent symbol of transformation. It's a move designed to redefine her in the public eye, not as a woman haunted by controversy, but as someone who has overcome adversity and rebuilt her life. Yet her actions beg the question, is this drive fueled by love or is it a deliberate effort to craft a specific image? Gypsy has described Ken as her soulmate, contrasting him sharply with Ryan, whom she dismissively referred to as a regrettable choice she settled for. This stark juxtaposition between her past and present relationships appears as much about shaping a narrative for public consumption as it is about her personal emotions. Ken has inadvertently become a central figure in Gypsy's strategy to reinvent herself.
Gypsy-Rose Blanchard called TMZ to come take pictures of her because how else would they know where she was going to be at and when she was pulling up? And she's going to act like she don't want to be on camera with her prosthetic stomach. Y'all, first of all, who puts a belt on while they're pregnant? And you see the way they acted like they didn't want any pictures or videos, like she was a real celebrity.
A marriage to him would symbolize not only personal progress, but also a fresh start, distancing her from the shadows of her infamous past and the fallout of her marriage to Ryan. It would allow her to present herself as a redeemed, successful woman, perfectly aligned with the narrative of transformation she has long pursued as she approaches the end of her parole.
Girl, cut it out. Stop playing with us. Look at this. Look at Christy looking like she ready to throw up them hands. Acting like a whole sir. Y'all, I cannot. This is too much. This is way too much. I can't be the only person that thinks that she's doing too much. Gypsy, you ain't tired of faking it? You ain't tired? I need you to explain to us if you tired or not. Because we tired of watching you, Bookie. You doing too much. You're not a real celebrity.
However, this rush to secure her relationship with Ken may also reveal deeper insecurities. By hastily pushing to finalize her divorce and marry, she risks conveying that appearances take precedence over authentic connections. The mounting pressure from Ken, public scrutiny, or her own internal anxieties has turned her personal life into a tightly managed operation. Every decision seems aimed at preserving her relevance and ensuring she controls the narrative of her journey. In the end, Gypsy's drive to finalize her divorce and solidify her future with Ken reveals the layered complexity of her motivations. While love may play a part, her actions hint at a calculated effort to protect her image and ensure her reinvention aligns with the public story she seeks to tell. The lingering question remains, at what cost is Gypsy pursuing this fresh start, and how genuine is the life she's building for herself?
What's the matter, Gypsy? The day ain't fire anymore? And here we go. Just like always, Gypsy-Rose is the poor victim. And yet, she wants to put out things like this. Why is this okay? Why is this acceptable? But the second Ryan opens his mouth, she becomes the victim. He needs to stop talking. But yet, she's gonna sit there and still be the victim of everything. She doesn't care how.
Her handling of the divorce from Ryan Anderson exemplifies how media narratives can be weaponized to serve personal interests. The media coverage that followed ensured that Gypsy's version of events dominated the story, leaving Ryan with limited opportunity to share his perspective. This persistent control over the media adds another dimension to the discussion, illustrating how public narratives can be shaped and manipulated for personal gain. By selectively granting exclusive interviews and making calculated public appearances, Gypsy ensures that her story remains in the spotlight while carefully controlling how it is told. Her narrative of resilience, survival, and personal growth is undeniably compelling, yet it often serves to obscure the more complex realities of her actions. While these tactics have undeniably shaped her public image and helped manage the difficult narrative of her divorce, they also expose a side of her persona that prioritizes public perception over genuine resolution. Gypsy's strategic thinking is impossible to overlook. By foregoing spousal support and focusing on the division of community property, she ensured that she would retain control over the most lucrative assets, The division of assets, particularly her book and media contracts, demonstrates her foresight in preserving her financial interests. Even seemingly small details, like allowing Ryan to keep the dog, align with her larger strategy of portraying a clean break while subtly maintaining control over the situation. These calculated moves reflect her willingness to manipulate not only people, but every aspect of the process, to protect her narrative and hold on to her sense of dominance.
Somebody else. Her actions are only her own. She couldn't care any less how her actions affect other people. And this article right here proves that point. Why is this okay to say to that man who did nothing but care about her? Who did nothing but try to be there for her, and she thought this was okay, and then she wants to again run around and be the poor little victim. Do better, Gypsy Rose. Still collecting victims to this day. Just saying, there's that.
Gypsy's ability to manipulate the narrative is undeniably strategic. By opting to forego spousal support and instead focus on the division of community property, she ensured that she maintained control over the most financially beneficial assets. The division of property, particularly her book deals and media contracts, highlights her foresight in safeguarding her financial future. These contracts aren't just financial agreements. They represent control over the story of her life, a story Gypsy is determined to shape and preserve at all costs. Even the seemingly insignificant decisions, like allowing Ryan to keep the dog, are calculated moves within a broader strategy. On the surface, this may appear as a gesture of goodwill, but it's actually a way to create a clear, clean break between the two, reinforcing the narrative that Gypsy is moving on while quietly holding on to the reins of control. It's a move that emphasizes how carefully she orchestrates every detail, from the personal to the public, in order to maintain dominance in the unfolding drama. These actions suggest a deeper willingness to manipulate not just people, but every aspect of the divorce process to serve her narrative. Each decision, from media appearances to the distribution of assets, is carefully timed and executed to preserve the story Gypsy wants the world to see. A woman who has triumphed over hardship, a survivor unscathed by the chaos of her past. But beneath the surface, there's a calculated effort to ensure she retains power, control, and a sense of victory in the midst of it all. As much as Gypsy presents herself as a woman who has endured and emerged stronger, these strategies expose a more complex side to her persona. They raise important questions about the authenticity of her public image and how far she's willing to go to protect it. While she may claim to be moving on from the past, her actions reveal a more deliberate and perhaps even manipulative approach to shaping the future. A future where she remains firmly in control of both her personal narrative and her financial destiny. Gypsy's calculated moves reveal a deeper, more complex side to her journey, one where the pursuit of control and image management plays a pivotal role in her transformation. As she navigates the public eye, it's clear that every decision is part of a larger strategy to reshape her narrative, secure her future, and maintain dominance over how her story is told. What do you think? Is Gypsy's narrative truly about personal growth, or is it more about controlling the perception of her life? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video if you found this analysis interesting. For more deep dives into complex stories like this, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching.